Many of you have probably seen the series known as O.J., an American crime story, and specifically The People versus O.J. Simpson. It's been on Fox and it's running for 10 episodes. And that brings to mind something that I have spoken about before that bears repeating. We all know that the upshot of that trial, that very long criminal trial, was that O.J. was acquitted. What is less well known is that 2 years later, in 1997, the Goldman family brought a civil lawsuit against O.J. Simpson. I recall at the time many non-lawyers wondering, why is it that the family can bring a civil lawsuit? Hasn't everything been adjudicated? O.J. was found not guilty. But the standard that is used in criminal versus civil cases explains why a civil lawsuit was possible. The standard in a criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt, or 90% is the way it was quantified for me years ago, of a belief that the person is guilty. So it's something like that. But the standard in a civil case is a preponderance of evidence. Some have said just a little bit more to be believed than not to be believed, or a little bit more to be proven than not to be proven. So a criminal acquittal will not stop a civil case by the injured parties. Let's take the situation where the other side, or the reverse, has happened, and that is a criminal conviction. Well, that's an easy situation, and indeed it's an easy case, because the facts usually are identical between the criminal case and a subsequent civil case, and the plaintiff would not even have to relitigate the matter. After all, the defendant was convicted. This again is the flip of the O.J. situation. The defendant was convicted by, say, a 90% likelihood, so clearly we can establish the preponderance standard, let's say the 51% standard, for pursuing and in fact winning a civil case. One other item, and you may know that I have an interest in evidence, is what about the facts or the evidence or the testimony that has come up in the prior criminal case? Can it be used in the subsequent civil case? And the limited amount of time I have is yes, almost definitely across the board, that prior testimony and statements made, if the defendant testified, are admissions and so forth, but the much of the testimony and many of the facts that were put forth in the prior criminal case, regardless of how that verdict went, would be used in a subsequent civil case. Thank you.